F1 Manager 24 grid changes every race for season 2. It is the 2025 season now. The 2024 season is over. Carlos Sainz was the champion. Here we have a look at the new season target. This is for Williams, the team that I was going with last season. But we are going to change team for 2025. I was hoping to go for one of the front running teams. However, we are apparently not good enough rated by a long way to go with a lot of the front running teams. So we can't be Red Bull, Ferrari, McLaren, Mercedes, Aston Martin, Sauber, and Alpine even aren't interested in us. The only teams we can take over are RB, Haas, or go back to Williams again. And I don't want to go Williams again. Haas isn't really much of a step up. So in the end, I decided to go for the best option, I believe, of the three, which is RB. So we're going to go for those. Season objective is 5th. So it's a higher objective than we had with Williams. As for the engine, because we get to choose what engine we want to use, we're going to stick with the Honda engine Red Bull powertrains because we are still part of the Red Bull family here at RB. So we will go for that engine. It is kind of a mid-range, decent enough engine. And here is the calendar. We will start at Imola, then we'll go to Spain, followed by Monaco, Austria, Belgium, Great Britain, the Netherlands, Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Miami, Canada, USA, COTA, Brazil, China, Japan, and then we will finish the season in Australia. So I've mixed the calendar up quite a bit for this season. We've got all the races we didn't do last season in here, plus some of the ones we did do last season just to make up the numbers, but I've completely switched them all around, tried to make them at least make somewhat sense with where they are geographically. Now, this season, we're going to just try and spend money all the time because the big thing last year, I think, was that we really struggled with upgrading the car. And because I was trying to kind of save money this season from the very beginning, we're just going to spend as much money as we can, do as much upgrading as we can. So we have a lot of money, of course, at the start of this season before things get going. So we're just going to really do upgrades galore. So we've got underfloor, suspension. We're going to design a front wing as well. These are all upgrades that should be through before we even start in Imola. So we'll have a bunch of new upgrades starting this season off. Of course, all the other teams will do the same thing. We are now going to manufacture some of these parts because by this point, a few days have passed, the research has been done. So now we're going to start manufacturing some of these parts. So first of all, manufacturing the underfloor. And then we have a look at the teams. So Oscar Piastri is at Red Bull with Max Verstappen alongside Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso, the drivers at Ferrari. That is those two team lineups. By the way, this was based off just the game kind of decided where they wanted to go last season. So this, I haven't changed this at all. Lando Norris and Alexander Albon at McLaren, Charles Leclerc and Lance Stroll at Mercedes, Sergio Perez and Nico Hulkenberg at RB. Those are the two drivers will be taking this race. And then Valtteri Bottas and Carlos Sainz at Aston Martin, Zhou Guanyu and Daniel Ricciardo at Haas, George Russell and Liam Lawson at Williams. Those are the two drivers we chose last season. And then Lewis Hamilton and Yuki Tsunoda at Audi, and Stoffel Van Dorn and Esteban Ocon at Alpine. So Van Dorn and Lawson, the two new drivers to come in this season, with Magnussen and Sargent being knocked out of F1. And yes, you would have seen there, Audi is now in place instead of Sauber. I decided to do it 1 year earlier than in real life just because I kind of wanted to get that Audi boat rolling. And I believe all 10 teams have different liveries for this season. So you'll see those new liveries shortly. Once again, just doing a bunch more manufacturing projects here, getting as much stuff done as we can. Also upgrading some facilities here and there. I believe I do also do a little bit of refurbishing of some facilities as well. Some of those ones that don't cost too much. Once again, doing some more designs here. We can get plenty of designs in before this first round. So now we're designing a side pod. We're going to have almost designed a new version of every part of the car before this season's even begun. So I think straight away we're going to be in a better position than we were at Williams. And yet once again, now we're designing a chassis. So we're really just plowing through the research and designing stuff here. Trying to get this car as good as we possibly can. I'm still not great at this manager game. I don't know what the best thing to do is. And of course, the way I'm doing it, moving the drivers around all the time, it's not the optimal way to play this game, but it's just the way that I find is fun for making videos. And for race targets, we're going to have 12th for Perez and also 12th for Hulkenberg. The car is apparently about 12th, 13th fastest, so we're about the 6th, maybe 7th fastest car on the grid. And as we see here on the R&D, we are 7th fastest, so Haas are actually a little bit quicker than us going into the season. You can see here McLaren have actually taken over at the front, so they have the quickest car on paper over Red Bull. Then it's Ferrari and then Mercedes. Aston Martin fallen quite a bit further back. They're in the group there just ahead of Haas. Then we've got RB. Audi, which is still in green because for some reason it wouldn't change to the Audi red colors. I don't know why. The thing kept like crashing when I was trying to do that on the database editor. They're still come up as Sauber, but they are called Audi now. I keep saying Audi. And you'll see that on the left there. All the other teams look the same logo wise, but you can see Audi have the their new look. And in Q1, both Williams knocked out. The Williams car actually pretty bad. I don't know, we must have really screwed up because they're a fair way off the pace of everybody else. Those two guys both out, both Audis out as well, and one Alpine also out. You can see here, you'll only really see the RB car at the moment, the new livery, but this is the livery I've gone for RB, the kind of blue and green one. I think it's kind of a Ford, it's a little bit of a Ford livery because we've gone for the Red Bull Ford. So, you know, we've kind of brought things like Audi and Ford 1 year, we've brought them to be 1 year earlier. You know, in real life it'd be like 2026. For this game though, we're bringing them through 1 year earlier. Both Haas's, both Mercedes and the other Alpine of Ocon out in Q2, which does mean that we have got both our cars through to Q3. The car wasn't supposedly in the top 10 for pace, but both our drivers have managed to get into the top 10 shootout here, so that is very, very good. Perez currently sitting in P5 after the first runs here, but we're going through the second runs now, and we're looking at Sergio Perez. He's just under 6.5 tenths off pole position, but being in P5, I don't know if we're going to be able to keep that position, but that is a pretty decent position to be in. Like I said, our car's like 12th and 13th fastest, so even if we're 9th and 10th here, we've still kind of done better than expected in qualifying here, so I'll take whatever I can get here as Perez continues on his green through Sector 1. He's going to come to the end of Sector 2 here, and that is also a green sector, so he is improving. That is good. Hulkenberg just gone through Sector 1. He's improving as well. He's currently down in 9th place, 4 tenths exactly off Perez, so not having the best Q3 so far, but hoping to have a better lap time here. Perez now down to P7. Hulkenberg down to P10. We've got the two Aston Martins in between us. Perez crosses the line, goes quicker than Gasly. In the end, he is quicker than Gasly. It's P6 for Perez, P8 for Hulkenberg. That is good. The two Aston Martins are P9 and 10. Defending champion Carlos Sainz in P9 there. It is, though, Max Verstappen on pole position. Despite Red Bull not having the quickest car on paper at the moment, he's on pole with Lando Norris on the front row in the McLaren. And then it's Oscar Piastri P3, Alonso P4 in the other Ferrari with Albon P5. So let's see what is in store for this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix at Imola.
Not long until we get going here in Italy, with 63 laps of hard-fought motor racing.
Imola can really reward consistency, as Nigel Mansell showed here in 1992 when he became the first driver to ever win the opening 5 Grand Prix of a season.
Imola has no fewer than 4 chicanes, with the Variantes putting a slow-speed corner into every sector around this historic circuit. It's a high downforce track with sharp turns breaking up the straights. It's race day with the teams and drivers ready and raring to go.
Right, so this is the race preparation. It is a pretty simple one stop from mediums to hards for this race. Both drivers coming in 1 lap off each other. P6 for Perez, P8 for Hulkenberg. So what have we got in store? It is a brand new season in F1 Manager 24.
The anticipation is really building here. The fans in attendance are absolutely buzzing with excitement. There'll be plenty closely watching the Alpine driver in this one.
They sit in 17th, and let's be honest, no one wants to be at the back of the pack. But can they impress us here?
But remember, anything can happen in Formula One. This is it, the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
Here we go, we'll get a good look at some of these other cars here. So you can see the Red Bull Ford, a little bit of a different livery for them. The McLaren is now an orange and white livery. Ferrari also have a red and white livery. Then you've got the RBs, my car of course, in the green, blue and white, and we'll have a little look at some other cars a little later on. But Verstappen had a great start, and it's a great start for both Red Bulls actually, as Piastri has jumped Norris to get into P2. Great start for the two Red Bull Fords. It is not great for our two drivers. They've both fallen down a position. Perez to 7th, Hulkenberg down to 9th, although Hulkenberg looks like he's got back past Carlos Sainz once again, and now our two cars are a line astern with each other. They really do stand out actually. Very, very bright colors on those cars. You can see there, that is the Mercedes, the silver and very greeny, oh sorry, that's not the Mercedes, that is I believe the Aston Martin actually, with the kind of silver and green, or the white and green of the Aston Martin. And then that's a Ferrari just up in front. We also saw a Haas just behind us before as well. We'll have a better look at that car later on. But there's Perez getting back past Gasly again in that Ferrari. At the front here, the two Red Bulls actually pulling away a little bit here, but it's Norris who gets back past Alonso. Alonso managed to get past Norris a little earlier on in the race, lap or so ago, I believe. It's only on lap 3, but Norris manages to get back up into P3. Now we have a look at Gasly. Now this front straight here, there's just a lot of overtakes going on here. I'm not going to show you every single one. An easy DRS overtake there for Gasly to get back past Perez once again, and we're going to have a fair fight with Gasly, I think, in these first few laps of this Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. Carlos Sainz behind our two RBs at the moment, trying to get past one of us. There he goes, past one of our cars, and I believe that was past Nico Hulkenberg there. So that is Sainz, the reigning Drivers' Champion, of course, from 2024, getting past our car. At the front, Piastri managed to get past Verstappen at some point. And now Verstappen's coming straight back at Piastri once again to retake the lead. Of course, Verstappen running the number 33 on his car now, because he did not win the championship last season, so he's no longer number 1. That number 1 is now on the car of Carlos Sainz, I believe. As we have a look at Liam Lawson in the Williams, this is the livery they're going for, the same livery pretty much that I have on the F124 game. Lawson spins it into the wall. I believe he does continue on, but that's not what he's going to want. Our teammates are still fighting each other here. They're actually fighting each other on track now. Hulkenberg trying to get past Perez, I believe, or maybe that was Perez getting past Hulkenberg. I'm not 100% sure. We have another yellow flag. That looks like it's Sainz. It's Sainz into the wall. The defending world champion into the wall in the Aston Martin. Let's have a look at this. Looks like the same place that Lawson went into the wall, and it's pretty much the exact same incident. Bit more of a heavier impact there for Carlos Sainz. I don't know if he will continue on. I believe he will, but a little bit of a heavier impact into the wall there than Liam Lawson had, and that is not a good start to this season for our defending champion Carlos Sainz. Perez and Hulkenberg still fighting each other here. They're just really having a good fight. That car behind, the white and red, is Daniel Ricciardo. That is the Toyota Haas car, the Gazoo Racing Toyota Haas, who actually tries to have a go at the inside of Perez there, gets alongside but isn't able to make the move. At the front, and it's kind of a top 5 all lining up alongside each other here. You've got Verstappen, Norris, Piastri, Alonso, Albon, and then it's a big gap of 11 seconds back to Gasly. But yeah, the top 5 here all very close to each other. Norris tried to have a little look at Verstappen a little bit earlier on there, but wasn't able to make a move. But lap 15, now going on to 16. No, it is just lap 15, and Norris makes an easy move on Verstappen to take the lead of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix. That McLaren is the fastest car on paper, so we would expect him to have a good result here, and he got into the lead, although Verstappen did manage to get back past. Now, for second place, Norris is actually starting to lose a bit of pace once again, as Alonso is now trying to get past him for second place in this race in the Ferrari. That car also seemingly pretty good here. He's a long way ahead of his teammate Pierre Gasly, but Alonso now up into P2. Valtteri Bottas in the other Aston Martin is now having a go at one of our drivers of, I believe, Nico Hülkenberg, and up the inside. Easy move there for Valtteri Bottas to get up into what looks like 8th or 9th position. So that is one of our drivers losing another position there. And all of a sudden, Alonso is now caught up to the back of Verstappen, and Alonso's on a charge, and Alonso is into the lead of the Emilia Romagna Grand Prix in that Ferrari. He had a couple of wins, I think, for Ferrari in 2024. He's now going to lead this first race of the 2025 season. There's another yellow flag. This time it's for another crash, and it's Stoffel Van Dorn in the Alpine. As he goes through the chicane, bit too much power. It's not the worst crash in the world. It didn't seem quite as bad as some of those other ones with Sainz and Lawson. But a few laps later, we're going to come into the pits. First of all, Hülkenberg will come in for his set of hard compound tyres. Out he comes. There's the Haas just behind there, so you've got a little glimpse of it. And then Perez comes in. He has to wait a little bit for the for the Mercedes of Charles Leclerc to go past. I keep getting the Mercedes and the Aston Martins mixed up. Here we have a look at Hülkenberg once again on Bottas, manages to catch back up to him after the pit stops there and gets back ahead of Valtteri Bottas, but it's going to be a pretty tight fight. That Aston Martin looks pretty decent in the hands of Bottas. Towards the front, Norris leads the way at the moment, although I don't believe he's coming to the pit yet. So this is effectively the battle for the race lead, and Fernando Alonso getting back past Verstappen for that lead once again. Sergio Perez now is battling with the Mercedes, so that's the Mercedes car. I've gone for the silver Mercedes with the little bit of bluey teal green on it, with the stars on the back kind of fading into the black. I think it's a very nice looking car, but yeah, I almost certainly will mistake it for the Aston Martin occasionally, because they look a little bit similar from a distance, as we've got the two Mercedes and Sergio Perez fighting it out here. I'm actually trying with Perez to just hold the Mercedes back here. I don't think Perez is going to be able to score points, but we don't want these guys to catch up to Hülkenberg, because he's also right on the edge in P10 currently. He's now, though, going for a move, an easy move on George Russell, who you might think, oh, he's doing a very good job in that Williams car, but he hadn't come into the pits yet, so he has now come into the pits and drops himself out of the top 10. Hülkenberg now also fighting with Pierre Gasly. That is Lawson in the other Williams, who is getting lapped up ahead, causing a little bit of a problem. Not really for Hülkenberg, maybe a little bit of a problem for Gasly there though, so that helps us out a little bit, but Gasly will manage to get past Lawson. Hülkenberg now up to P8, so things looking a little bit better. Gasly will eventually get past though. Norris now finding his way back through after a later pit stop. Fresher tyres at the end here, and he's going to overtake Piastri for P3. If he can't win this race, he wants to at least be on the podium, but he has good pace now. He might be able to fight to get past Verstappen and Alonso. Sergio Perez still battling with the two Mercedes. Look at them both behind there, Leclerc and Stroll. They're fighting with each other a little bit as well, so that is helping Perez, but it's getting very tense here. Leclerc once again down the back straight. This time he's going to go for the move on Perez to get up into P9. Sorry, that's on Hülkenberg. So the two Mercedes have actually managed to now push past Perez. Perez has fallen off a cliff these last few laps. And now it's the Mercedes versus Hülkenberg at the front, and Norris is going to overtake Verstappen to take the lead of this race with 8 laps to go. Lando Norris back into the lead. He's had a great charge through at the end here. Hülkenberg still fighting with the two Mercedes back past Leclerc to get up into P9. Now, I want to get at least 1 point here. We do have a little bit of it's a little bit scary though, because, you know, with the two Mercedes there, right there with us, it's quite close whether we're gonna either get 1 point or none.
Finishes at the head of the pack.
They can be really proud of what they've achieved today. A result like that doesn't just fall into your lap.
Great result from Lando Norris. He wins the opening race of the season. I don't think he won a single race last season, so to get the first win of the season here in 2025 is great. Hulkenberg will get overtaken by Stroll at the end, but Leclerc's a long way back. He really fell off in the last few laps. So Hulkenberg will pick up 1 point for P10, Leclerc P11. Perez comes home in a pretty comfortable P12. No points for him, but hey, at least we come away with 1 point here today. It's not all bad for our new Team RB.
And after such a fabulous drive here today, it's no surprise to see this man land on the podium.
Their first win of the season, and the team looking on will be very proud, I'm sure.
Well, Formula One certainly feels at home in Italy, and it looks like those three feel right at home too.
Great result from Lando Norris. The two Red Bulls both on the podium, Verstappen second, Piastri third. It's a good result for all those three, but Lando Norris especially will be very happy with that win. Fernando Alonso came home fourth, Albon fifth. He did fall away from the top four quite a bit towards the end, 28 seconds back from Alonso in P4. Then you've got Gasly P6, Bottas P7, Ricciardo P8 in the Haas. He kind of came out of nowhere. Stroll manages P9 in the Mercedes, and Hulkenberg P10 in the RB. So we do get 1 point. We fall back from where we started, but that seems to always happen. We have better qualifyings than we do races. But yeah, I think P10 bringing home 1 point in the first race is pretty decent, considering we supposedly only had the 6th or even 7th fastest car. And in the Constructors' Championship, well, it is McLaren who take an early lead here after the first round from Red Bull, Ferrari, Aston Martin, Haas in 5th, Mercedes 6th, RB 7th, and then Alpine, Audi, and Williams all scoring no points. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.